What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video on musical instruments, reviews, comparisons, and more. And today, we're going to be taking a rough comparison between the Stylophone S1, the original pocket synthesizer, versus the second generation Stylophone S1 pocket synthesizer. Now, first, let's do a size comparison. So, they look nearly identical, but like the sides on the S1 original version, they're just smooth, and that's what I like. And they're kind of really thin. Like on the second generation, the sides are really thick, and it's just a lot thicker border. Like if I see, it's a lot thicker border on the sides, and the stylus is bigger too. And they each have 3 effects: one to the left, one in the middle, one on the right. But this effect switch is easy to switch, but the second generation, you really gotta... Oh, I switched it too far. There's the middle effect, there's the third effect, there's the first one. See, it's very tricky to flip. And then these both do have a power on and off switch. They both do have vibrato, and they both have the speaker up here on the top, and the Stylophone writing right there on the top right hand side. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do like roughly a stylus comparison really quick. Now the stylus on the original synthesizer is quite small. And when it goes across here, you can kind of hear it, but it's not too loud. It's like... And on the second generation, we'll do the same thing. Take out the stylus. And the stylus on this thing is quite a bit bigger. And when I do it on this one, notice the difference there. It's a lot louder. That is so much louder. It almost sounds like you're like sawing through wood. It almost sounds like you're sawing through wood. I think it's because of that thicker border and then that metal keyboard. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, on the first generation, there's the... If I flip this up here to this side, there's the auxiliary port where you can play along with your own music. Then there's the headphone jack. On this one, flip this one up, there's the headphone jack and a micro USB port. So you can definitely tell this one's a lot newer. Now, weight comparison, the S1 original pocket synthesizer is quite a bit lighter. On the bottom there is a battery door and there is a tuner on both of these. But the original version is quite a bit lighter. If I pick up the second one, the second generation, it's definitely got some weight to it. I think because it's so thick around the sides, that's why it's so heavy. Now, they both do have volume buttons. 11:31 p.m. 5 notifications. Try not to let that read out. Now, they both do have volume buttons right here on the right hand side for that one. Except on this one, on the original one, the volume button is more like kind of but you can still feel it. On this one, the volume button is kind of more stuck out, like you can really feel it. It's like right there. Just turn it easily. Now, I'm not going to turn the volume button on my original synthesizer.
11:32 p.m. 5 notifications.
Because if I do turn it on my original synthesizer, it'll change the volume from where I had it, and I don't want to change it because right now it's at a perfect volume, because if I turn it any higher, it will sound distorted, and that's not what I want. So, I guess now without further ado, like I said, the original version is quite a bit lighter than the second generation. I really don't want to do this, but the second generation is like, yeah, like how solid that is in the original. There's a whole difference there. I really don't want to drop these anymore, so that's it for the weight test. And now we're going to go ahead and turn these both to the on position, which is the first switch. Okay, now they're both turned on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play each effect on both stylophones. First with vibrato, first without vibrato, and then second time with vibrato. And I want you to see if you can tell the difference between the two vibrato effects. So, original, first effect. Oh, that is way too loud. I wonder what happened there. That's way too loud. Distorted. Oh, still too loud. Still way too loud. Now too quiet. It's hard to adjust it just right. I'm just gonna go just a tad bit more. Try this. Okay, that should be good, but I'm just gonna go just a hair more. Not much, just a hair. Okay, that's good. So now the first effect on the original. Now, I really like that. Now, what you're about to hear right here, keep in mind, this one is definitely different sounding. Oh, vibrato's on this one. Now that don't sound half bad either, but I just feel like on the original one, that just sounds way better. Now, just to show you that the second generation is lower, I'll try to do these at the same time. Now see, the second generation is so much lower that it's taking this one off by a lot. Maybe if I go a little bit higher though. No, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to match up with that one. But now I'm going to switch them both to their second effects. Okay, that one switched. Now this one, you really got it. It's kind of finicky. Okay, that one switched perfectly as well. Now, the second effect on the original one sounds like this. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the second generation. Now see, the second generation doesn't sound half bad. Now, but same thing, the original just sounds way better, like, that's just way better. Now we're going to switch them both to the third effects. Alright, now the third effect on the original sounds like this. And the third effect on the Second gen sounds like this. And you can tell that the second gen is a lot higher when it comes to that effect. But now, I'm going to do each effect again without talking. With the vibrato effect turned on now, so let's switch that to on, switch that to on. Now, back to the first effect, and I'm going to do this on both of these, and see if you guys notice the difference. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this second generation. Oops, I forgot to switch. Okay, there we go. Now you notice how on the second generation, you can't hear the vibrato very well. But on the first generation, you can hear it fairly well. That's why I love the first generation way better, because now switch them to their second effect again. Okay, there we go. Let's go and do this again. Same thing right here on the second generation model. Actually, on that effect, it's a lot more noticeable. Just by a little bit, but not much. Now let's go ahead and do the last effect on the original and on this one. Now on the original, you're really going to notice something cool. Now I'll do the same thing on the second gen. Now see, on the second generation, the vibrato is very hard to hear. Like you can't hear it as well as you can on the original one, which is this one right here, the lightest one. Like I said, they both have tuners. On the bottom, this one does, and so does this one. Which this tune is turned all the way down. But this one turns fairly easy. And the one on my original one does too. But if I had to give my choice, doing a comparison of both of these, if I had to give my choice, I mean, due to the fact that on this original version, the S1 first generation, that you can hook up your auxiliary cord in a recorder or your voice recorder or your phone, and you can play along with it. I mean, that's just amazing. But on this one, however, you have a micro USB port, but I don't think you can do that with this one. So, in the vibrato, it just stinks on this one. It's not as good. Like the sounds and stuff sound okay, but the vibrato effect just stinks on this one. So if I had to pick one of these between these two, it would have to be the original, because the original one just sounds just has such a better sound, even like this, on all the effects. And even in vibrato mode, you can really hear it good. It's like, it's really pronounced. However, on the second generation, like I said, you can barely notice it, and I'll do it one more time just for you guys to hear it one last time. I can hear it, but it's very hard to notice. So yeah, so if I had to give one of these a recommendation, I would say the original, the Stylophone S1 original pocket synthesizer. But however, if you want this variant, if you want this original variant with the auxiliary port and the headphone port, I mean the auxiliary jack and the headphone jack, if you want this variant, your best bet would probably be to look it up on eBay, because they don't make them on Amazon anymore. The only one they make on Amazon now is this one, the second generation. The only one they make on Amazon is this one. So if you like the old variant like I do, and you're like really into that cool, like retro, like 70s style sound. Oh, why did it get turned down? Like if you're into that old, like cool, like retro 70s style sound, then I would definitely go with this one. But if you're more into like bass, like real low, like real deep bassy sounds, then I would go with this one. Because that sound is more bassy. Or if you're into like really high lead sounds like this. If you're into really high sounds like that, then I'd definitely go with this one. But yeah, given my opinion, the original version with the auxiliary port and the headphone jack is absolutely my favorite, because all the sounds on it sound great. The vibrato mode is very noticeable, and you can hear it good. It's not too quiet like it is on this one, the second gen. You can hear it very good. So yeah, so I hope. Oh yeah, and the stylus on this older one, it's a whole lot smaller, because if you get this new one, you're gonna get a little bit bigger stylus. And like I said, for sound comparison, I'll do this again. If I slide the stylus across the original, so you can hear that. But if I slide the stylus over the second generation, it almost sounds like you're cutting meat. Now, I really probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to turn both these on one more time. And I want to see what happens if I touch the original stylus to the second generation stylophone. Let's see what happens. Oh, nothing. So it knows. That it's not the right stylus, which is pretty neat. So it knows if I'm using. So that's pretty neat how it knows that, which is pretty cool. So yeah, hope you guys all enjoy watching this video. Comments, questions are always welcome. And if you guys see this video, let me know which one you recommend. So let me know which one you guys recommend in the comment section below and why. And I will tell you why I like the original one so much. It's just awesome because, like I said, the effects sound really great, and it just has a really cool sound to it, and it's just awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Comments and questions are welcome, and have a nice day. Peace.